All right, hello, welcome to another episode of Stand Tall. This is, I believe, the 4th of August. Let me just double check. Oh no, my laptop's in the way. Yeah, August 4th. All right, so where are we at? The general who thoroughly understands the advantages that accompany variation of tactics knows how to handle his troops. Immediately, that feels like management, right? Like your employees. Every day is an adaptation that needs to be made. And you need to roll with the punches with your folks, man. Like they got their stuff and they need you to be a leader and adaptable. So that one's pretty straightforward. Whether you're a general or a manager or an owner or any kind of leader, a coach, adaptability is just the thing. Let's see. Now, the alternate translation. This one is a little hard to figure out, but it says, therefore, generals, let's see, civilian governments not to be obeyed. Okay, so it's got to be this one here. Yep, apologies. Therefore, generals who know all possible adaptations to take advantage of the ground know how to use military forces. If generals do not know how to adapt advantageously, even if they know the lay of the land, they cannot take advantage of it. If they rule armies without knowing the arts of complete adaptivity, even if they know what there is to gain, they cannot get people to work for them. So, right, like if somebody's having a freak out and they have some personal stuff they've got to deal with, you might have to adapt your day to pick up the slack or immediately figure out someone else to delegate their task to. But you have to do what's right for them as well, and that way that person can continue to work and do their job and perform and do things for you and the company. So GLN, in response to this, says, even if you know the configuration of the land, if your mind is inflexible, you will not only fail to take advantage of the ground, but you may even be harmed by it. Okay, so I like that. I don't, do I need to dive into that though? It's just like, just be aware of your surroundings. Like, don't get so stuck up on the high level stuff that you forget to get on the front line with your troops. You have to do that too. It is important for generals to adapt in appropriate ways. To adapt in appropriate ways. When I talk fast, it's like adapt in appropriate ways. Like that doesn't okay. So if you can change with the momentum of forces, then the advantage does not change. So the only ones who get hurt are others. Therefore, there is no constant structure. Constant structure. If you can fully comprehend this principle, you can get people to work. Adaptation means things like avoiding a convenient route when it is realized that it has features that lend themselves to ambush, not attacking a vulnerable army when it is realized that the army is desperate and bound to fight to the death, not besieging an isolated and vulnerable city when it is realized that it has abundant supplies, powerful weapons, smart generals, and loyal administrators, so there is no telling what might happen. So even if you're small, you can still be powerful, right? And you can still scare people away. Like that's what this says. Like it says, like don't fight the small people who could beat you. That's so good. That should give so much confidence to any small business owner out there. Not fighting over territory that could be contested when it is realized that even if it were won, it would be hard to keep. It would be of no use anyway, and it would cost people life and limb. Not following the directives of the civilian government, which ordinarily should be followed, when it is realized that there would be a disadvantage and consequent harm in direction from behind the lines. These, the enemy within. These adaptations are made on the spot as appropriate and cannot be fixed in advance. So that's the key right there. You know, is boom. All of these things like this. You have, and just the thing about this constant structure, I liked. Okay, greed for what can be gained means taking any shortcut, attacking any isolated army, besieging any insecure city, contesting any territory that can be taken, taking command of any serviceable army. Oh, if you're greedy for what you can get from these things and do not know how to adapt to changes, such as outlined above, I just want to say something about that, but I have to finish this sentence. Not only will you be unable to get people to work, you will destroy the army and wound the soldiers. I mean, book drop, you know. Admittedly, any young insurance agent, financial advisor, let's mostly say financial advisor or salesperson, I mean, for me, that's my personal experience. But I think this might go for real estate or medical sales and just about anything. You're so, I don't I don't know if greedy is necessarily the right word for it, but you're so hungry, you're so ready and willing, and just you everything coming at you. It doesn't matter how small the account, how big the account. If it's someone you don't want to work with, you just want it. You want the account, you want the transaction, you want the sale. I'm like you want to sell the house, you want to get the person in the apartment, you want to sell the doctor the new prescription drug or whatever. And so, in the sense of greed, you're going to be blind. You'll be blinded by the ambition, the blind ambition, the blind greed to just do things. But as I've gotten older and looking at this, it makes me reflect on a younger me of like I don't necessarily want to say I was greedy, but in a way you're just greedy to get started, and so you know in as far as being an investment advisor, like taking command of any serviceable army, it's like, well, not every person or family needs me to be their portfolio manager. It may not be a good fit, and I don't need to besiege an insecure city. I don't need to convince someone, and this is one of the many reasons I dropped my life insurance license, that they need a certain insurance product, life insurance product, that, you know, if they have sufficient assets elsewhere, there's just all variables to be considered. And it's like, yeah, yeah, don't chase commissions, don't sell people things they don't need. There's all kinds of financial products and advice and guidance. I'm not just a product person. I have all kinds of beautiful ideas and strategies, etc. This is not a pitch for me though. So let's dive on over to the Daily Stoic, August 4th. No blame, just focus. By the way, guys, pick up a book. There's no like affiliate program or anything like this. Just find it on Amazon, or even better, go to a local brick and mortar bookstore and pick up a copy. So all credit to the reflections is to Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. So guys, if both of you ever see a video that I made based on your book, please, I hope that there's no offense taken, and that we can all build upon it to all become a little bit better. No blame, just focus. From Epictetus, you must stop blaming God and not blame any person. You must completely control your desire and shift your avoidance to what lies within your reasoned choice. You must no longer feel anger, resentment, envy, or regret. Epictetus Discourses 3.22.13. Nelson Mandela was imprisoned for resistance to the brutal apartheid regime in South Africa for 27 years. For 18 of those years, he had a bucket for a toilet, a hard cot, and a small cell, and once a year he was allowed a single visitor for 30 minutes. It was vicious treatment meant to isolate and break down prisoners, and yet, in spite of that, Mandela became a figure of dignity within the prison. I just got chills, like undefeatable, you know. Though he was deprived of many things, he still found creative ways to assert his will. I'm sorry, I just looked ahead and there's the word frontline in italics, and of course my dumb ass brain thought Fortnite. As one of his, okay, I'll just start this paragraph over. Though he was deprived of many things, he still found creative ways to assert his will. As one of his fellow prisoners, Neville Alexander, explained on Frontline, he, Nelson Mandela, was always made the point: if they say you must run, insist on walking. If they say you must walk fast, insist on walking slowly. That was the whole point. We're going to get the terms. We are going to set the terms. He pretended to jump rope and shadow boxed to stay in shape. He held his head higher than the other prisoners, encouraged them when times got tough, and always retained his sense of self assurance. It's that self assurance, it's yours to claim as well. No matter what happens today, no matter where you find yourself, shift to what lies within your reasoned choices. Ignore as best you can the emotions that pop up, which would be so easy to distract yourself with. Don't get emotional, get focused. Be adaptable. Dude, like case point, mic drop, book drop. Stand tall. See you tomorrow, guys.